What's happening, guys? We're back with another 0 Hour episode as we are on that march to Aries Ampd going down next Saturday night, August 13th, Nashville, Tennessee. Tim Lloyd joined by Jeff Hobbs. Today, Jeff, we've got Logan Neal joining us, a guy that we know very well, that on several shows. So he's going to be making the trip back out to Nashville to take on Dedrek Sanders in a lightweight bout next Saturday. Excited to chop up shop with him, talk about his most recent fight, which was the main event in Chattanooga in June, and what we've got looking ahead here.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a banger, man. I really got high hopes for this matchup. I think we got two guys that are going to just stand in there and put on a show. I mean, hell, Logan might as well. He might need to claim some Nashville city taxes because he's either coming to Nashville and fighting Nashville fighters, or he's fighting Nashville fighters in his hometown. So I mean, this is his second city.
Of course, this will be going down on Spectation Sports for the pay-per-view. You can get your tickets at fightertickswithanx.com. And then, of course, betting lines available at action247.com. Make sure you use promo code Aries to get a deposit bonus on your initial deposit. Let's have a look at this this promo video for Aries Ampd. When we come back from it, on the other side, we'll have Logan Neal. Logan Neal now joins the 0 Hour. Logan, how's it going, my man? 1 week out, just a little over a week out now from time to throw down at Aries Ampd. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. Run a little bit late for this interview.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. You will not be the latest person that we have to encounter in this trek, I'm sure. Getting ready to take on Dedrek Sanders, and that one's going to go down in Nashville out of his hometown. As Jeff mentioned, you've been back and forth to Nashville and Chattanooga, fighting Nashville guys there, fighting Nashville guys in Chattanooga. This will be your third opponent from Nashville MMA. Before we get into this one, though, we haven't spoken to you since last time out. Main event in June, vying for our initial professional lightweight championship against Pat Crumpton. 5 hard-fought rounds. Came up on the wrong side of the scorecards. Let's go through that fight. Your take on it, how it went, anything you learned from it, and quick turnaround for you. Ultimately, this is just about 2 months later, and after going a hard 5 rounds, you've stayed just about as busy as anybody this year.
Yeah, man. I mean, Pat was just a super tough fight. I learned a lot from it, and got to go 5-5s for the first time, and seeing that I could do it. I mean, he was just one step ahead the whole fight. You know what I mean? Like I don't think couldn't get the timing down in that fight really. He was just like him, so it was kind of just a long, gritty fight.
Well, it's a long time to fight. 25 minutes, of course, 5-minute rounds. You know that you've proven you could do it. Never really had an issue with cardio. But at the same time, it's got to feel nice kind of going into this 3-round fight that you still had a pretty good amount of gas in the tank at the end of 5 rounds. Now you kind of know how you can conserve it. If you need to spend a little bit earlier, then you know you've got it there to rely on later in the fight, with it being a 3-rounder, huh?
Yeah, man. And, it was hard getting this fight going, man. It's been a shorter camp. Had a fight, and my original opponent had to pull, and then it was like, well, I still wouldn't mind fighting, and then this one kind of landed in our lap, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think we're probably maybe 2 to 3 weeks you've had on this one, a total of right about a month to prepare. But you were in the gym, from what I could gather, already, staying in condition, staying ready for something. So not really so much a situation where you're coming off the couch by any means. Of course, you've got some teammates on this card as well. Josh Booker, Trevor Peak on this card. What's the vibe like there at Agogies? You guys get all 3 of you guys in big fights here as well. Josh Booker will be vying for our 185 title, and then of course Trevor goes without saying in that main event.
Oh yeah, man. Josh has been grinding, man. I'm really proud of that fight. I mean, it's like sometimes you just see that switch flip in amateurs, and then serious thing. And I'll tell you one thing: having Trevor Peak your sparring partner. It's hard to be scared. That guy's an animal.
Jeff, I'll tag out to you, my man. What's you got for Logan?
Logan, my man, first and foremost, man, I'm a little disappointed in your hat. It is not an Aries hat, but I hear you've already lost another one, my man. But we'll talk about that later.
I set it down after the last fight. Next to it, I remember it was on the table after me and Pat fought. The right, there's my hat, and then looked back and it was gone, man. So somebody snagged it.
It's a hot commodity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, we were talking about the 5-round fight that you had with Pat, and is there something about that? Kind of looking at a 5-round fight, things maybe aren't going your way, or like you're saying, you're having trouble getting timing down. Well, you've got a lot longer to try to turn it around. Going back to a 3-round fight and realizing now I don't have those extra 2 rounds to maybe turn this around, does it have any sense of urgency now in your head going, you know what, I don't have rounds 4 and 5 if I start out slow to maybe try to turn things around? Is that something that's popped in your mind that, the shorter time now after coming off 5 rounds, like I really just can't go too slow in this fight?
Man, not really. I mean, if anything, I just feel like I can run all 3 rounds. Me and Pat, man, I don't think we stopped moving from 1 through 5. Man, it was such an active fight from round 1. I mean, it was just insane. So 3 rounds, I feel like I can just go, and he's going to have to deal with that, man. And I mean, I'm numbing.
Well, I definitely think that's one thing, regardless of, somebody just looks at Logan Neal's record and looks up, okay, he's lost this fight. He lost the fight before. Like, it's the most deceptive losing streak if you're just looking at a W or an L that I've probably ever seen in this fight game. Just knowing from our end, knowing the level of competition all 3 of those opponents were, and the fact that, again, what do we have? 8 rounds, combined, Charlie Alexander and Patrick Crumpton, and you were right there, waiting for a judge's decision at the end, neither one being able to stop you. How do you see this thing playing out, my man? Is this going to be, do you feel, now granted, yes, he's from Nashville MMA, and you've had 2 outings with Nashville MMA guys who leaned heavily on the grappling and wrestling, but Mr. Sanders is not, a longtime Nashville MMA guy. He's kind of a transplant that came in. Do you think he's going to have that same game plan, or have you watched film on him and think that he may be kind of a different animal and will probably, do you expect he's going to stand there with you a little more?
Man, I mean, I'm kind of be surprised if he did try that game plan, and I wouldn't be surprised if we stood up and banged it out. His style, we could go either way. I mean, I don't know his game plan. And I don't know, man. I think 4 and 3. I'm 3 and 4, and in a way, hey, dude, look at his losses. I mean, he's lost to. There's another guy on there. Jonathan Pierce. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is tough, dude. I mean, it's it might be a down competition to some, but when you look at his record, man, it's almost the same. It's very deceptive.
Do you think even if he came out and thought, I'm going to use the same game plan that my teammates used, that you've seen the best of the grappling out of that gym, that there's no way that he can be at the level that a Pat Crumpton was? And mind you, for how many times, yes, Pat took you down, Charlie took you, you got up. You got up a lot of times. You didn't just stay down, until the later rounds. So do you think that his wrestling is probably not as, I don't want to say not as good, but just not at the same level as probably his teammates?
Man, it's hard to say. He hasn't fought in a year. So I improved a lot when I took a year off. So I don't want to go in there with that mindset that he will say, man, you better be in shape. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to try that game plan, you better be they're in shape, man. I mean, those guys train hard. Regardless of Pat, we had a 5-round war. I mean, he had to try to keep me down for 5 rounds. I know, Um, like I said, I mean, if you're gonna play that game plan, you better know myself. I've tried that game plan before, taking people down, as an amateur, and it's hard. So I mean, if you're gonna try it, you better come in shape.
Yeah, I think that is, maybe one of the narratives you could look at in this fight. His two teammates have excelled against you by getting takedowns. One would think that that may be a game plan that they try to put in his head. At the same time, watching video myself, he doesn't look like the type of guy that is typically pressing for takedowns. Looks like he likes to strike. Doesn't necessarily mean he will strike, but it looks like he certainly likes to. Is there anything what would be the main thing you feel like that you've got to watch out for based on the film that you've seen so far? Obviously, taking into account that there has been improvements over the last year, what stands out most about his game that's the most impressive to you?
Man, I mean, honestly, like I said, it's you know what I mean? I mean, he's taking some tough fights, so I know that to get in there with somebody like me, it's just another day in the office for him. You know what I mean? Like he's fought tough guys, just like I have. I think he's gritty. I think he does bring some. Like I said, man, he just better come in shape. I hope he can do it for 3 rounds. You know what I mean? For his sake.
Yeah, you've got a good point there, because that's one of the more grueling aspects of the fight, and being able to try to get those takedowns, chain those takedowns together, be in the transitions, be in the clinch, just grinding, working. That's something that you've done multiple times. You've had guys attempt to do that to you, for 5 rounds. So I don't think that will really phase you as far as that game plan goes. It would be interesting to see if he does have the gas tank to push that kind of attack for 3 full rounds, because that's not easy to do, especially when it's not the game plan that you will typically see him go for. So it's kind of a new thing, new muscles being used, just a new experience trying to go that route. Could make things very interesting. I was on the odds call today. Don't know the odds just yet, but I believe they'll be fairly close. And they're asking me my take on this fight, and I was like, these guys were both very close. Logan's got one of the more deceptive 3-4 records you're going to find, looking at the strength of competition that he's fought. He's fought pretty much nothing but good guys over his last 6 fights. Obviously, Sanders has fought very good guys as well. Didn't, in my opinion, perform that well against those guys, whereas in your losses, you've been in those fights, for the most part, to the decision, to the very, very end, and you were competitive in those fights. So little things like that, I think, kind of balance the scale with him having one better win than you as far as the record goes. I feel like your strength, how you've done when you've stepped up in competition, kind of levels that playing field. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, I think you have a great point there. I still believe that, I'm one of the top guys around here, and like I said, I haven't picked and choose my fights, like
Yeah.
a lot of these guys do. So, I mean, it's nothing new to me to get in there and fight hard. You know what I mean? And then, I mean, that's the same. I'm used to that. You know what I mean? We can fight hard. 1 round, we can do it for 3 rounds. It doesn't matter. Whoever gets caught is going down.
Of course, this is going to be a packed out house. It's going to be an electric atmosphere, unlike anything we've probably seen before. What's your take going in on this card, man? Obviously, I think everybody knows it's stacked up. What's your take on this main event? Any other fights on this card? You going to be peeking out the curtain to check out?
Man, I fight. I'm very interested in Josh Booker's fight, and that's not just being a fan as well. You know what I mean? I think that's an interesting fight. I would fight, and Robbie Ring. I think that's an interesting fight. But I did keep up with Jacob Kilburn some, like when he went to the Contender Series and stuff, and fought on there. So I thought it was pretty cool watching him, and I mean that like everybody's hands. So anybody chooses to stand in front of that guy,
Yeah, no doubt.
Good luck.
So
There,
what's the game plan from here, Logan? Would you say you're looking to get one more in after this one to close out the year? Obviously, the opponent that we spoke about a little bit earlier that they ended up getting COVID, having to pull. There's potential that fight can still circle back around in the fall. Are you looking to still try to get one more in here, regardless how it goes?
yeah. I mean, let's see how this goes. I'd like to get one. Shoot, I'd also like to enjoy a little bit of the rest of the summer and ride some motorcycles and drink. Um, so yeah, I mean, say everything goes good. And interested in fighting the original opponent in the fall. I
We're
think
definitely excited. We're definitely excited for this one, man. This is going to be fourth down from the top, so it's definitely one of those fights that we've got circled as being something to look forward to. Of course, your teammates on the card as well. I know you guys are amped up. Before we let you go, I'll let you do the shout outs. You know how this goes. Hit those sponsors with some love, training partners, friends, family, all that good stuff. Let them have it.
City Solar. Big thanks to them. That guy's a huge supporter. Surface Seal, Shoot 423 Detail, Burnout Cycles. Um, Trying to think, man. I know I'm forgetting some here. I need to start writing these things.
We'll get you there one
Knoxville
day.
Morning. Yeah.
You know, if you handle business next Saturday, you got another shot at this. You got another shot at the shout outs.
I think I covered them all. Man. On that.
Awesome, man. We appreciate the time, Logan. Of course, you can catch Logan Neal. He takes on Dedrek Sanders, lightweight professional bout at Aries Ampd. It goes down next Saturday night, August 13th, from the Fairgrounds Nashville Arena. Of course, you can get your tickets at fighterticksforthenext.com. Make sure you select Logan from the menu so he gets that credit. And then you can watch the pay-per-view at spectationsports.com. Bet on it at action247.com. Use promo code Aries. Logan, appreciate the time, my man. We'll see you here in about one short week.
Yeah, man. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
See you, buddy.
See you, brother.